My name is Ildiko Scurr and I'm a master of energy. I use your personal energy field to create huge transformations in the way you think and you feel. My system is called Life Retuning, and it is a cutting-edge way of sidestepping your mind's self-defeating behaviour by harnessing the energetic information which underlines and runs your entire system. So what I do is I read that energetic information, I apply my specialist techniques, and through that I upgrade the quality of your life and your business. How I work is as a business empowerment facilitator, and I specialise in working with entrepreneurs, mompreneurs, and business owners who have small businesses. So my talk today is called Overcoming Self-Limiting Behaviour by Unveiling Your Mind and Using Your Energy. And I'd like to start by giving you the agenda. And so we're going to be talking about what the real problem is behind getting stuck in overwhelming self-limiting behaviour within business, how to get over dead-end thinking, which is one of the problems, and how that kind of behaviour that you can get stuck in shows up in your business. Then I'm going to share 2 empowerment tips to harnessing your own energy. And then we're going to look at how you can go further with your own personal energy after that. So let's start here. So what I want to do is I want to start with a story about opportunities. So I regularly meet entrepreneurs who tell me that they need to find more opportunities to promote their business. And I find that they tell me a lot of the time that they're just not getting the breaks, that they feel frustrated and disappointed because they put so much work into running their business that somehow it just doesn't result in clients or customers buying their services or products. So the reality is that thousands of pounds are spent every year by frustrated and disappointed business owners on business and marketing courses and programs. You know, the internet, I'm sure you're aware, is jammed full of all kinds of courses promising 6-figure incomes. But the question is, do they really help? Well, what I know is that a lack of opportunity is not the actual problem. It is only the symptom of the real problem. And I want to tell you a story which illustrates how true that actually is. So back in the spring, I went for coffee with a business friend of mine whom I had not seen for months. During our chat, I asked her how her business was going for her. You know, we've known each other for a long time, and I'll be honest, she does tend to moan about how nothing ever comes her way. So that day, she again told me that she didn't have as many clients as she would like to. But today, however, she was feeling happy and appreciated. She'd received an email with a great testimonial from a satisfied client she'd worked with. And as it happens, this client runs a women's business group and had offered her the opportunity to get in front of a large audience and showcase her business with a great introduction by a business owner. Of course, he could testify to how good she really is at what she does. Absolutely fantastic. It would mean a good chance to get to be known by other fempreneurs and pick up some new clients, hopefully. So she told me she had 3 weeks before the event, which is a good long time to prepare. And, you know, I was really pleased for her to have been given such a good opportunity after all of the times when I'd heard her telling me how, you know, she wasn't getting any breaks. So 3 weeks later, I happened to run into her on the street and we got chatting. And of course, I asked her how her special event had gone. Well, I expected her to tell me how interested people had been and that she had some new clients from it and how great it was. But instead, she looked away. And then she brushed it off, saying that with all things considered, She hadn't had the time to add something else to her busy schedule. I was surprised. I didn't know what to say. The conversation got a bit awkward, I have to admit, after that. So I ended up saying goodbye and leaving. But you know, there was one question in my mind. How is it possible to spend the time feeling disappointed about a lack of opportunities when the opportunities that come along are not being taken advantage of? So really, not having opportunities is not the real problem. And the way my friend behaved is something I've seen happen many times. So clearly, as I say, it's not the real problem. What it is the symptom of the real problem. So the question is, what is the real problem? Well, we all do this. It's human nature, but it makes you defeat yourself before you have even started. I used to do it too, but I've changed my behavior through using my own energy work, and it has made all the difference in the world. What it means is I don't miss out on the opportunities that are meant for me. And I want to demonstrate to you what the real problem is through a little exercise. So I'd like you to join me in this little exercise to show you what the real problem is. Okay, so here's the question. I'm showing you an image, and I'd like you to count up how many red objects there are in this room. And I'd love it if you actually posted in the chat how many objects you can count. I'll give you a minute to do that now. And as I say, just post in the chat how many objects that are red in that room you can see. So I'll just leave that with you for a moment. So if you want to share that in the chat, then all you need to do is just go to your chat button and just pop in the number that you count. It's as simple as that. Okay, so that's given you a good long time, I think, to be able to count up all those red items. So now I want to ask you a very important question. Okay, so let me just see what I'm getting here. Okay, yeah, okay, fairly similar. Yeah, great. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you this very important question. And the important question is, if I can actually get my screen to work, which it's decided it's not going to. How many blue objects were there in the room? So, can any of you tell me how many blue objects there were in the room? Now, if you can't tell me, then that raises a question. Why didn't you pay attention to them? Well, you didn't believe the blue objects were relevant because you thought they weren't for you. I set it up to make you think that, right? So you've gone ahead and counted the red objects, but you failed to notice the blue objects. So this is what I call sleight of mind. And that's how stage magicians perform their tricks. What they do is they use your mind's behaviour to guarantee the outcome that they want. So let's have a look at what this means, what I've just demonstrated to you with the red and the blue objects, because this is very, very key and important to how your mind actually works. So I want to ask you a question. Do you believe that you can run a successful and thriving business and support your family? Now, don't rush in with the obvious answer. Of course it is. After all, that's what I'm doing. That is your conscious ego mind's response. What I'd like you to do is to take a few breaths and sit with the question I asked, and I will repeat it as it is important. Do you believe that you can run a successful and thriving business and support your family? So the question now is this a red or a blue object for you? If it was a red object, then you should find that you feel like you're powering up, you're feeling an excitement, and you're feeling that the words are connecting in with your body. So that means that you believe that to be true. However, if that belief is not what you are connected into, and it's a blue object, you might felt a drop in your mood or your energy, and you probably feel that the words are just words and they haven't connected in with your body. So this may have been a very significant moment for you, as you've just allowed your deep inner knowing through to show you the truth. Please don't despair if you suddenly have a blue object right now with your belief, because this is only the first stage. If you have a red object and you feel the power of your belief, well, that's a great start. But we do need to dig deeper to find out where you can become even more empowered and free to do what you want with your business. So if you have a blue belief, a blue object, the next question is why you have that blue belief. Why your actions are not aligned with your belief, and why on some level you don't see yourself as being successful, even though you're trying to convince yourself that you are. So how does this self-defeating behavior show up when you have a belief that is not aligned with your conscious mind and your unconscious mind? Well, here are some of the ways that this can show up for you. So you've got, you could be assuming without evidence. I'm just going to show you some of these. You might have a fear of talking about your business. You might not like to go to networking events because you don't like talking about your business. You might be being too cautious, so you always avoid anything that seems like an opportunity, even though you know it would be good for your business. That then can lead to frustration because you're not getting anywhere, or you feel you're not. That then can lead to fear of failure, because if something's not actually happening, you're stagnating, then you can start feeling that you're going to fail. And indecision, not being able to take any real powerful decisions because you are not taking opportunities, you are holding on to fear of failure, and you're being too cautious. So it's a domino effect. So through my work, I've seen this truth play out in clients' lives and businesses over and over again. And this is how powerfully your beliefs affect your quality of life. And I want to show you something called the belief ladder. So the belief ladder says that your beliefs determine your thoughts. Your thoughts determine how you feel. How you feel determines your internal state. Your internal state leads to the decisions you make, The decisions you make lead to the actions you take, and the actions you take create your life. If in your unconscious mind you don't truly believe in yourself, your abilities, or that opportunities exist for you, then this will eventually show up in your life and your business. That can cause you to miss the right opportunities to grow your business. And if you are stuck in self-limiting behavior and dead-ended thinking, then that can really start affecting your business dramatically. So let's have a look at how the belief ladder can affect your business. So this is your pot of opportunities and success. But here's what happens if you do not deal with your self-limiting beliefs and your dead-end thinking and your self-limiting behavior. You're going to get your resources, your finances, your opportunities covered and unavailable to you. With self-limiting self-defeating behavior and your dead-end thinking, this is what's going to show up. So let's have a look at what that means. You might be missing deadlines. You might be coming up with excuses for not to do things. And then you can start to beat yourself up. You can avoid opportunities like my friend did and fail to reap the rewards. So what that then does is it means that your golden nuggets of your skills, your talents, your knowledge, your amazing gifts are not accessible to you. You will struggle to access those skills, experiences, resources. And that's a really bad place to be in. That really will lead to frustration and stagnation. So let's move on to the positive. So what do I suggest? There are two parts to what you need to do, the leap you need to make. And these come under taking imperfect action. So the first part to that is to deal with perfect. And the second part is to power up your heart. So what do I mean by dealing with perfect? Well, you know, one of the reasons my clients struggle both financially and making the impact that they want within their business is that they get stuck. And they get stuck specifically over decision making. And they create a lot of stress around every decision they make, including avoiding things altogether. And you know what? All of that creates no movement, no forward movement. So do you feel like you should be doing things but you don't have the time? And are you waiting for that perfect solution to drop into your lap? Because if you are, you could end up waiting forever and ever without really getting anywhere at all. So what I know is that the fastest path to making those kinds of decisions so that you can move your business forward is to get started with imperfect action. What I mean by imperfect action is that often we're waiting and waiting to make things perfect. Whether it is the perfect presentation to an investor, or the perfect products, or the perfect resolution, I can tell you that if you look at all the software companies, these big successful businesses, what they do is they put a product out there, get feedback from their customers, and then they can change it and make it even better. And that is just a natural part of the process. And they are in that natural process because they took imperfect action the best they could. They put something out there. So you may already be reacting to the idea of something not being perfect. And what I want to tell you is that there is a way to move through that. There are actually 2 steps to getting started in taking imperfect action within your business. The first part to that is the inner part. We have a lot of ideas we have created from our childhood, from our lives, from culture, from all kinds of places about our self-worth, our confidence, being good enough. You probably have your own version of those words, of that kind of thing. And those things, like I said, they're determined really early on in life most of the time. And they're often the source and reason underneath why we want to be perfect. So, for example, you may be trying to prove yourself worthy to someone or something from your past. And culture has told you what worthlessness means. You might be wanting to prove yourself of value in society or to your family or to your loved ones, to your children or to yourself. And what we do is we internalize all of these stories. So part of you is maybe trying to show your parents, for instance, that you're good enough. So the first part to taking imperfect action is to identify what your version of those motivations are and how they are blocking you, and then to clear the blocks, the stories and the energies around them. So you can take imperfect action without the fears around trying to prove yourself in any of these ways. So what happens when you deal with perfect and get it out of the way? You clear your beliefs, your stories, and the energies around them so that you can step forward without fear. The second part to taking imperfect action, and this is the energy part, and I love it. So this second part is powering up your heart. So what does this actually mean? Powering up your heart means that you are compassionate towards yourself by honoring your needs and desires. And you can bring real benefits that way also into the lives of others. And how do you do this? Well, it all starts with rerouting your active energy from your mind and all of that worrying and all of the negative beliefs and the dead-end thinking, rerouting all of that energy to power up your heart. You know, there is more and more evidence through science that the heart is much more than just an organ that pumps the blood around our bodies. There is research which has just discovered that the heart actually has a brain, a heart brain, and its own energy field. This is called the heart field. And this field is often described as a rotating torus, with vortexes entering the top of the crown of the head and exiting through the bottom of the spine, and then spiraling through the spinal column, creating this ever-flowing movement, the energy coming in, going down the spine, going out, and then coming back in again. So the frequency, what they discovered is the frequency of the heart's energy field is 5,000 times more powerful than that of your brain. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? And this toroidal field of the heart extends 12 feet out from your body. Wow. So when you start rerouting your energy to power up your heart, guess what? Miracles start happening. So your heart can power you to create your successful, thriving, and ethical business. When you create from your heart, you feel energized, joyful, relevant, on purpose, and you have a deep inner knowing that you are doing the best job you can to serve yourself, others, and the planet. Wow, what an incredible way to live. And it's all within your reach. So the best way I know of exercising the heart energy and opening it up to the glorious magnitude it can reach is to do random acts of kindness. And these random acts of kindness need to be done for a stranger, anonymously. Why? Because that way you won't get caught up in your ego mind, as you won't get thanked. Shock horror, you won't get thanked. If you don't tell anyone else about it, what happens is your ego doesn't get triggered. That is a really powerful way of opening up your heart and stopping your mind from jumping in instead. Just the warm satisfaction of giving without expectation. And you know what? Your heart will expand each time you do this. The more you do it, the more incredible it feels, and the more joy you will experience. And I'm telling you, your whole energy will change, and you will feel that love is being mirrored back to you 10 times over from all of your interactions. So, when you can get started in taking imperfect action, you can take the 2 steps of identifying your inner motivations around perfectionism and powering up your heart. Then you will feel really confident in making the best decisions. And all of a sudden, those decisions that you get stuck around at the moment, that you find stressful, will become really easy and instantaneous. And you'll be able to move your business and your vision forward. So my second empowerment tip is to practice random acts of kindness. So what does it look like when you are free of your self-defeating behavior? Well, this is where you're aiming for, and this is what you can achieve, and this is what it looks like. You can find peace. You can find that it leads to all sorts of wonderful outcomes. Even the synchronicity of people, places, and resources showing up magnetically attracted to your energy. It's absolutely miraculous what takes place. And of course, you end up with the abundance, the financial abundance and satisfaction that makes it really worthwhile. So let's recap on how you can overcome your self-limiting and self-defeating behavior in business. First of all, find out what the real blocks are, what the real reason is that you're blocked. Deal with the concept of perfect and how it is blocking you in your life and your business. Practice random acts of kindness in order to activate your heart field energy. And with all this, take imperfect action. Throw your heart out and leap after it. And if you want to work further with me, you can access your personal energy and create the life and business you want, because that's what I do. I help to unlock your potential and live the best and biggest life and run the best and biggest thriving business that you possibly can. So what I'm offering you today as an attendee of this webinar is a free consultation with me to find out more about your personal energy and the miracles that it can actually achieve once you reroute your energy from your mind to your heart. And then you open up wonderful things like your intuition. Your gut instinct becomes dominant and you make less and less mistakes in your life and your business. It's absolutely fantastic what happens. So my details are that I am Ildiko Scurr, and I am a business empowerment facilitator, and I'm also the founder of my own energy personal empowerment system called Life Retuning. You can reach me if you want to send me an email at ildiko@liferetuning.com. If you wish to find out more about visiting my website, it's www.liferetuning.com. And if you wish to follow me and find out what I do and all of my events and my services, my offers, please do join the Life Retuning Facebook page, which is Life Retuning events, workshops, and webinars. And so I'd like to thank you all for watching. And please do contact me in the ways that I've mentioned above. if you wish to book and know more. So it just remains for me to say thank you very much, Erin, for giving me the opportunity to share my webinar and my tips and tools. And I really do hope that you've benefited today from the little that I've shared with you here. You know, it's coming up to, it's just gone over half an hour, and I've packed in loads here, but believe me, this is just a start. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to unmute you all, and if you've got any questions for me in the last 5 minutes, please do ask me now. So you're all unmuted. Hello, everybody.
Hi, Ildiko.
Hi, Erin.
Thank you very much. That was